Hi there, my name is Matt Houlihan and I am one of the club directors here at Beta Bay Volleyball Club, along with my wife Ariel Houlihan, who is not with me currently because she's out running an open gym and my children just went down for bed, so this is when all of our work gets done. This is your parent meeting for the 2021-22 club volleyball season. In this video, I'm going to cover everything that you need to know about Beta Bay, everything you need to know about making a decision about Beta Bay as a program for this upcoming indoor club volleyball season. I've also put together a PDF for you guys that you can download. There's also a link in the email that we're going to send out. If you need it now, it's in the comment section, the info sheet of this video on YouTube that you can click and download in case you want to hold on to that as you are watching along with me. Just a quick little introduction of myself. I played for Beta Bay back in when I first started, which was when I was 13, played on a 14-2s team and played my whole remaining volleyball career at Beta Bay before going on to play at University of the Pacific. My brother was a part of the very first Beta Bay boys volleyball team back in 2001 when they started actually hosting teams. So my family's been a part of Beta Bay for a long time and it's been a part of my life for a long time, and I'm really happy that I get to continue doing it with my family now. To start, I'm just going to give you a rundown of what the tryout process is going to look like. First and foremost, new this week, the mask mandate is back in place for both San Mateo and Santa Clara County. So we will be 100% masks on regardless of vaccination status. That goes for both players, coaches, and for parents. We are allowed to bring in one parent per player for the tryout. So you can communicate, husband, wife, you guys can figure out which parent's going to be going in with your son. If you want to send a parent in, we'll have a space on the green turf area off of the courts for parents to hang out and be around and watch, and as well as be available if coaches want to bring your son over to have a conversation with you guys about an offer. How the tryout process will work is when you actually get to Limo and you get inside to check in, we ask that you guys arrive at least 30 minutes early so that you can go through the check-in process. You'll give your name, we'll pull up your registration profile, and then one of the Beta Bay coaches will actually give you a tryout shirt that has a specific tryout number on the back of your shirt. And that is how we keep track of everything. So your number gets assigned to your profile, and then as we are evaluating and making offers for teams, we use the number to make sure we keep everything coordinated. So make sure you wear that shirt during the tryout. We'll go through a 2-hour practice plan where coaches will be evaluating, and then throughout that tryout, coaches will actually be pulling players aside and offering them spots on the team. This is also the opportunity specifically for the younger age groups where coaches are going to pull the player and then ask them to go get their parent that is there as well to be able to have a conversation with the whole group together, just in terms of what the offer is, all the good information that parents may have questions. We can help answer those during that time frame, and just be able to hash out whether or not you would like to accept the offer or if you would like to decline the offer. So that's kind of how we go through that process. If your son is not talked to or receiving an offer during the tryout, that does not mean that he won't get one later on. Tryouts is never perfect. It takes a lot of time and effort to work between conversations and parents and players and finalizing teams. So we will be following up with phone calls to make offers as well after the tryout. And we try and do that as quickly and as efficiently as possible because, one, we know that your son is waiting and we don't want to make people wait longer than they need to. We want to try and get people a clear answer of whether or not we have an offer for them or whether or not we do not have an offer so that you guys can plan accordingly. So we want to be respectful of your guys' time, and we hope that you guys can be respectful of the coach's time as well, because if you're sitting on an offer that a coach has given, there's also another player we've told is next on the list that is going to be waiting as well. And so we want to make this as simple as we can for guys, and we do the best we can to over communicate in this specific scenario to try and make it that way. Once your son has received an offer and accepts an offer, he will be docu-signed a letter of commitment, which will go to your guys' email address that we have on file on Monday. You have to wait 48 hours after the tryout to actually commit to the team. That letter of commitment signs the player to their team and their club for the full competitive year, which runs through junior nationals. We also will do a kickoff party, so just basically a club kickoff for Beta Bay on Monday evening starting at 5:30 at Excite Ballpark, the home of the San Jose Giants. So we'll set up grass volleyball nets. We'll have music playing. We'll have barbecue and drinks available. We'll do some talks and all that good stuff to kind of kick off our club season. And we aim to have our teams finalized by then. We'll have them no later than Wednesday, have them finalized. And once we do have rosters final, we send an email out to everyone who has registered for for tryouts, just so that you know that the rosters are done. And we have it all up on the website, and you're able to plan accordingly from there. Next part on our list is training. And it's important for us to go over our training because it is a little bit different than a lot of other clubs throughout the country. One of the big things is our teams all practice throughout the fall on Saturdays and Sundays. And we do that for a number of reasons. One of the big ones is because we have guys that come from all over the place, from far away to play for Beta Bay. And so those weekend practices, specifically during the school year, just makes it easier for people to avoid the long commute during rush hour traffic. So all of our weekends are when our teams practice. To supplement those indoor practices, we also host 3 skill-specific practices on weeknights. So how that works is each of those practices is 2 hours long. We host a pin hitters practice, a middles liberos practice, and a setters practice. Each of those has a lead coach that runs the entire practice, and each team sends 2 to 3 guys on it. So the coach will actually assign 2 to 3 members of the team each week to go to those specific practices to get extra repetition and to allow those guys to compete in a different environment with some different coaches. We have all of our coaches kind of cycling through that underneath our lead coaches. So they get a lot of different perspectives. And as well, they just get to participate in the same drills and in the same practice setting as all of the older guys and all of the younger guys. And it's a cool environment. It's a unique environment because one, it forces our older guys to become good leaders. We force is a strong word. We encourage them to be good role models, to teach the younger players throughout these sessions. And it allows our younger guys to compete at a higher level than they may currently be at. So they get to go up against the older guys. They get to go up against coaches. They get to play in these different environments that they wouldn't normally get to get in another club setting, just because they're just on their one team, and that's all it really is. When you're a part of Beta Bay, it's not just your Beta Bay, 13-1s team. It's you're a part of Beta Bay, and you play with, and the guys on 16 Premier, and the players on 18-1s, and there's a lot of crossover, and you see that at tournaments as well. So those skills practices get supplement those team practices, so we're getting touches throughout all of the week. We also have 2 other programs that we'll talk about later that supplement the indoor also that you can add on. That's outdoor volleyball. That's our beach club and our grass volleyball club that run around the indoor schedule and allow guys to add on additional repetition and additional practice settings throughout the week. One of the most common questions that we've gotten in this past year has been where our practice locations are going to be. Now, of course, this previous year was a strange one with COVID, and we normally run all of our practices out of Harker Middle School, Willow Glen High School, West Valley College, and schools have just been the longest ones to return back to opening up gym space to outside rentals. We've been lucky enough to be able to practice at Limo, who opened their doors to us throughout COVID to run our indoor practices and allowed us to train. This year, we've been able to secure almost 90% of our gym space back in the San Jose South Bay area. So we're super grateful to be able to return back to our normal home. And so we'll be using Campbell Community Center, which is one of the main facilities that we'll be using this fall season. West Valley College is also just reopened to us. We also have Silver Creek Sportsplex in San Jose, and we will also be using Limo on some of the dates that we don't have access to gym space, which is usually the dates that get close to holidays. So the Christmas break, the Thanksgiving break, some of those dates that the schools usually close it down for, we're able to use Limo on those dates. The next topic for us is the tournament schedule for the upcoming season. The majority of our teams are going to have a pretty unified schedule throughout the year. All of our teams are going to participate in the NCVA Power League, which is our regional tournament schedule of 5 events throughout the greater Bay Area up to Sacramento. where we'll compete against Northern California teams. So all teams will participate in that. All of our teams are also going to participate in the SoCal Cup Winter Formal, which takes place on December 11th and 12th. That'll be our first travel tournament and first opportunity to showcase what we've done throughout the year against the top teams in the country. We will also have all of our teams participate in the NCBA qualifier, which happens on January 8th and 9th. Then there's going to be a little bit of variety in terms of which teams will participate in the Chicago qualifier that happens the following weekend in January over MLK weekend. The majority of our teams will be participating in that, both ones, premier, and club teams. It's just some of our younger teams that will not be participating in that. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere here of who is going to participate and which teams are not going to be traveling to Chicago for your guys' reference. In the summer, all of our teams will participate in the SoCal Cup Showcase, which happens in the middle of June, June 17th through 19th. And all of our teams will participate in USA Volleyball Junior Nationals. The location for that has not yet been determined by USA Volleyball, but once we do have the location and finalized dates, we will send that out to everyone as we go. The number of tournaments that your team participates in is the main deciding factor for what your club dues will also be. So that's segue that into our next section, which will be club costs. So the main cost of the club volleyball season is going to be club dues. And how we structure our club dues is we make it into two distinct payments. We have a fall portion club payment and we have a summer portion club payment. When you accept a spot on a Beta Bay team, you're committing to both of these payments. It's not two separate seasons. It's one long season with a break in the middle for the boys' high school season. But we just break up the club dues so that it's not an all up front one lump sum. It just makes the payments a little bit easier. And so what we have set up for the fall is for our teams that do not attend the Chicago qualifier, the cost is $2,750. That covers all of the Power League entry fees, that covers SoCal Winter Formal, that covers the NCBA qualifier, along with coaches' salaries, practice time, insurance, equipment, all the other things that go into running the team throughout the year. For the teams that will be attending the Chicago qualifier, the club dues for the fall season is $3,000. That includes everything that we mentioned previously from Power League, SoCal Winter Formal, the NCBA qualifier, and then in addition to Chicago qualifier. And I'm going to go ahead and put the list of teams that are attending Chicago here, and that's the majority of our teams. And then this is the list of teams that are not attending Chicago. As you can see, this is our younger group that we do not send to Chicago for that larger travel tournament. The next cost for the club volleyball season is going to be uniform dues. Now, the way that we set up our uniforms is we run everything in 3-year cycles, which means when we set up our uniforms for the first year of the 3-year cycle, once you buy them, they're good for the next 3 seasons. So that just helps alleviate some costs, keeps kids in the same uniform. We don't need to do a new set every single year, and we can reuse what we have had. Now, with last year being COVID, we did do something a little bit different where we made it a smaller uniform package just to try and keep things light because we didn't know if we were going to have tournaments. Lo and behold, we did have tournaments and we did need uniforms. So the only little change is we're going to be adding in our third jersey short, so our uniform short, and a new backpack. So those 3 items will also be added on. So for our returning players, they already have the majority of the uniform package. All they need to pay for is the $150 for the new portion of uniform gear, the jersey, new shorts, and backpack. For any new player that wasn't a part of Beta Bay this past season during 2020 and 2021, then it's going to be a $400 fee for the full uniform package. And that uniform package will be good for this full season and for the next full season. So that's how our 3-year cycle gets set up. So those uniforms will be good for the next 2 years. The last part of our club costs is going to be travel. So travel is not included in the club dues. And how we set up travel is essentially whenever we have a travel tournament, so something that's out of our region, like Southern California or Chicago, we set the travel day to be the first day before play begins. So the day before. So if we start playing on Saturday morning, we set the travel day to be Friday, and then it's the responsibility of you guys as a family to get your son to and from the tournament. So flying in on a Friday to Chicago or driving down to Anaheim for the Southern California tournament, however you guys want to set it up, that's up to you guys. We don't require any specific thing. The only requirement we have is to get your son to the assigned hotel by the day before tournament beginning for the travel events. For the hotels, what we have to do is all of the events we play in are called stay to play events, which means that we have to book all of our hotel rooms through a specific link that the tournament gives us. What that does is it just allows us to, number one, book a larger group of rooms together so that, for us, we like that because, again, we get to have our entire club under the same place, adds for a good team bonding environment, and then getting to support the club across, you get to see the different teams. But it's also a requirement for the tournament in order to gain entry. And that's something that the tournament uses in order to get a bigger contract of rooms to supply to all of the attendees of the event. So overall, what we will do is we get our hotels assigned to us. We send out the link to each family. So we send an email out after the teams have been finalized saying, here's your assigned hotel, you have this much time to book your hotel room for your son and yourself. The majority of our families send a parent with their son to all of these tournaments. So booking a room for your guys' selves and getting yourself set up with that. That's how tournament travel gets plugged in for all of our families. We try and keep everything as organized as possible, send out a lot of good information and emails, just keeping everyone in the loop on getting travel booked, getting their hotels booked, and making sure they're prepared for the upcoming event as we do get closer to it. For the last part of our parent meeting, the thing that we always like to cover is what we internally at Beta Bay like to call our secret weapons. And the secret weapon that we have is outdoor volleyball. So what that is we run 2 specific programs outside of our indoor club simultaneously. Beach Club is our main one. So we run Beach Club year round, and that happens on Sunday mornings from 8 to 11 a.m. So 3-hour practices every week that we don't have a tournament for indoor volleyball. So we set it up around the indoor schedule, and we allow all of our guys to train on the beach under Coach Alex Jones, who was a member of the U21 national team for USA Volleyball Beach. And it's just a great environment for our guys to train and supplement what they do indoors in a really unique environment. So the great thing about beach and grass volleyball is it's not 6-on-6, it's 2-on-2 for beach, it's 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 or 2-on-2 on the grass. And what happens when you do that is you're now taking a larger responsibility of the contact on the ball. So all players have to pass, all players have to set, all players have to hit, block, serve, play defense throughout the course of every single rally. With that, you get a lot more touches, so you get a lot more repetition, which means you have more opportunities to train and improve. The guys that we have seen go through our beach club program in particular, and we started our grass club program this past summer during COVID, is you just get so much more out of those sessions because your weaknesses are being chiseled out, right? So if you're a bad passer, your opponent's going to serve you because they want to score points. And so it forces you to be a better passer. Likewise, if you're a bad setter, then they're going to serve your partner to force you to have to set. And so you just start to see big improvements because athletes start to figure out what it is they need to work on, and they're getting lots of repetition and lots of balls that they actually get to get quality touches. There's no hiding, there's no middle blocker position where you're only in the front row. There's no just back row player as a libero. You have to do everything, and so you get to work on all those different aspects of your game. So for our beach club, all of those practice sessions are at West Valley College and happen on Sunday mornings. For our grass club, which this will be the first year that we actually run this year round, we'll be starting it up for this fall season. It'll be on Wednesday evenings in Campbell. So at Campbell Community Center or John D. Morgan Park. So Wednesday evenings from 5 to 7. And Coach Chad Gordon, who's another one of our lead coaches and was the AVCA Coach of the Year. We like to always give him that plug because he hates the attention that it comes from it. But we have a great coaching staff that runs these sessions, which is another great reason for our guys to get out there, get another set of eyes that's coaching them and working with them in a really low impact environment. You're not working on the hard court, so it's not overusing their body, and they're just getting a lot more repetition, a lot more opportunities. And so those are really unique environments. Specifically with our grass club this year, we have so much access to nets, and sometimes that's just one of our big constraints for indoor volleyball is you only have so much court space. And on grass, we're able to set up, we've got 30 grass volleyball nets. We probably won't use all of them, which is fine, but you can see how we can scale up the size of our court space to allow guys to get a ton of reps and a ton of games in a really short amount of time. And so it's usually a really fun environment. We get guys out there, we got the music playing, and it just turns out to be a really unique experience for guys to supplement what they're already doing indoors. And so that's what we like to call our secret weapon. If you're interested in checking that out, we have more information on our website. You can sign up for the tryouts for Beach Club and the tryouts for Grass Club. The Beach Club tryout's $30. It's on Sunday, August 15th. And the Grass Club tryouts are on Wednesday, August 18th. We are waiving the tryout fee for Grass Club this year because it's the first time we're running it in the fall, and we want guys to come out and experience what it's going to be like. So all you need to do is go online and register for that, and you can come check out Grass Club for free this month. And other than those programs, we have lots of other things that go on, so we'll be sure to keep you in the loop as more things come up, like camps and clinics and college coaches appearances and things along those lines. But if at any point, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, send us an email. You can give us a call. You can text us at our community text number, which we will throw right here. Just text Bay to Bay, and you'll be able to text directly with us, and we can help answer any of your questions. But no matter what, thank you guys again for registering for tryouts at Bay to Bay. We hope that it's a great experience for you, and we will do our absolute best to make the tryout process as smooth and easy as possible for your sons. So thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon.